Marshall family joining us. Right now we have Coach Gibson here. He's going to talk about the class of 2006 for National Signing Day. He will open with a statement, and then we'll get to questions.
Yep. First off, would really like to thank our recruiting staff, Alex Jones, Sydney Spears, and Dylan Timberlake. I thought they did a really, really great job with our visits. A lot of guys coming in and out through the month of January, especially in the portal. And, they did a tremendous job. So really want to thank them. Our coaching staff this year was a little different from the aspect of we had a core to work with. We went out and got positioned in need, what we felt like was, very important to us to be able to get better at some positions, and we filled those needs. Overall, we ended up signing, and this is including our walk-ons, high school scholarship kids, and portal guys. We signed a total of 43 guys that are on the roster. Now we have 26 portal guys that are enrolled in January that are in school, will go through winter workouts, spring ball. So excited about those guys. We have our 15 high school signees that we signed in December. Out of those 15, we have 9 that are enrolled in the winter semester now. We'll be able to go through spring ball as well. And then we have our last 6 guys that will be joining us in June for the summer workouts and then get ready for fall camp. So, the way we attacked this, again, we needed position of need. We felt like we needed a quarterback. We got an older quarterback out of the portal. We also signed one out of high school. So, excited about both of those guys with Dylan and Khalil. Running back-wise, we signed 3 out of the portal. And then we didn't sign any high school running backs right now. We felt like we needed to get older there. We still have some young guys on the roster. At wideout, we signed 3 out of the portal, and we signed 3 high school kids. The thing that really excites me about our high school kids, too, is these guys were all played on really good teams. We had a couple guys playing state championship games deep in the playoffs in their respective states. A lot of these guys were team captains, and so got some good leadership skills and really good young players that we're looking forward to developing. Offensive line, we signed a total of 9, 5 out of the portal and 4 out of high school for the offensive line. So obviously that was something that we really needed to hit. We lost some to graduation, and so feel really good about those guys. A couple guys that people are familiar with, local guys, are Robbie Martin from Huntington High School and Xavier Bosley from South Charleston. So, really excited about those 2. Defensively, we ended up signing 14 out of the portal. Really heavy emphasis for us on our defensive line at DB. So we ended up signing 8 total defensive linemen. That's interior and outside edge guys with that. And then DB, we signed 6. Linebackers, we did not take any out of the portal. We got a great core group back, and we signed a couple high school linebackers that we're excited about. And then we signed 3 defensive backs out of high school. And then specialists, we have 4 new specialists. We signed 2 out of the portal, a kicker and a long snapper. And then we have a combo guy, kicker, punter, local kid out of Wheelersburg that is enrolled in school right now for us. And then we have a high school long snapper, so total of 4 there. But again, a lot different approach this offseason than it was a year ago when we were trying to build a football team a year ago. Now we're just trying to create more depth and again, attack this by position and need. So been excited about these new guys that are here. We've got to see them do a little bit right now. It really gets cranked up here in March. We'll know a lot more after spring ball is over with. And we saved 2 spots. So we have 1 spot on offense and 1 spot on defense left, scholarship-wise, to be able to go out and get something if we need it late in spring or early summer. So whether it's going to be a high school kid, a JUCO kid, or a portal guy, we'll just have to wait and see where we're at when that time comes. But with that, I'll open up for questions.
It's just from a numbers standpoint, how difficult is it to navigate how many high school kids you need, how many portal guys you need, and how important also is retaining your current roster?
Yeah, it was really big. We kept some really, really good players here. So that was really good. And then, what we look at is a high school kid good enough to come in here and help us. And we still understand, we want to recruit high school guys. I mean, ideally, the number would be 20 to 25 a year. This year, we fell a little short, 15, but again, we had to go out and get some older guys to help us. But moving forward, that's kind of the number we're going to work off of. You know, if we could hit 18 to 22 a year would be ideal maybe. So, and then the portal guys, we're not recruiting portal guys to come in and be backups. We're recruiting portal guys to come in and play because number one, they don't have a lot of time left, and we feel like that they could come in and help us right away. So that's why we, approach it the way we do.
Coach, how much smoother is the operation comparing last year to this year? I'm sure it's night and day.
Yeah. Last year was like a car wash. They would, buzz in and out within 24 hours. This year, they got to see a lot more, sit down, talk a lot more football. We had our full staff in place when the visit started. So anytime you can do that and explain to a kid, hey, here's how we're going to use you, here's our plan to develop you, here's your teammates. Last year, we didn't know, who was going to be here, who was not. We were just kind of doing it all blind. This year, it was a lot easier. And again, our recruiting staff and coaching staff did a great job with that.
Kind of building off of that, how much easier for you was it to find players that fit Marshall because you've been here a full year, you've got to see the lay of the land and all that?
Yeah, that's number one on our list. Is he going to be a good fit for us? And, also the way that you attack this portal is you don't ever want to go in blind and not know anything about a kid. So you do your research on every player you bring in. But the other thing is past relationships. I hired some new guys on defense. They had some connections to kids that we got. We had guys that have coached kids at other places, connection there, coaches that we've known maybe prior recruiting. We're recruiting these kids coming out of high school. So a lot of that goes into it. You want kids that are familiar with you and that you're familiar with them and understand they're going to be able to fit. Because the way that this is happening now in college football is you can't afford to miss on a lot of guys. So we did a really, really good job, I think, of identifying the right guys that fit our program and our culture.
Seems like there was an influx of a lot of power forward talent coming in that might not have gotten the playing time there, but is that kind of what you look for? They have experience at a power program and bringing it to Marshall?
Yeah, and I don't really look at power four guys to say that's who we need. I want guys that play and are productive. And there's a lot of examples on our roster from a year ago. You look what Boogie did. He was playing FCS football and came in and was top 5 in the country in interceptions and led our team, was an all-conference guy. So what we want are good football players. I don't care where they're at. If they fit what we do and we feel like they're good enough for us to win the Sun Belt with, we're going to recruit them. So, and again, we have them from all over. We have FCS guys, we have Division II guys, we have Power 4 guys. And then we got, our level that, kids that played in the Sun Belt other places or the American or Conference USA. So we just have to find the right guy for us.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about those local guys, Cooper and Xavier and Robbie, Robbie and Xavier were elsewhere, Cooper's out of high school, but you said when you got here that would be an emphasis if they can help, and obviously you think these guys can help.
Yeah, I think those three could be really, really impact players for us this year. And again, Bosley has 1 year left. Robbie has 3 years of eligibility, and Cooper, he's got 4 years. So, Cooper's coming in to win the job, the punting spot. So we're, the kid's got. I mean, he was an All-American. He's, and he's a local guy that wants to be here, and that's part of it as well. And then Robbie, the relationship I've had with Robbie over the years. He came to NC State where I was at. Last year, then he went to that school up north, and then he finally got smart and came home. So, but really looking forward to what he's going to be able to bring to the table. And again, he's got 3 years left, and he understands who I am. I understand who he is, and so I think it will be a great relationship. And I think his best football is ahead of him. And then with Bosley, Coach Smith had him at Jacksonville State, and then he left and then obviously came back to finish out his career here. So, those are, again, guys that want to be here and want to be a part of this. So that's what attracted us to them and the same for them.
How important has kind of internal recruitment and retention become? A lot of people talk about how much you can pull out of the portal, but what you have in-house, it gives you kind of a luxury to where you can go find needs if you're keeping.
Yeah. Yeah, that was big for us. And, you know, we have some really good players coming back that other people were trying to get to. And, you know, and again, I'm not accusing anybody. I'm just stating facts. But, you know, our guys, Toby Payne, Carlos, Adrian Norton, Slappy, I mean, those guys are all ready to roll, and they're excited about it. And, you know, we got Wodies coming back. So, you know, we've got a good core of guys that are coming back for the right reasons, and they want to be here. And they could have went other places and probably made a lot more money. But, you know, they have a job to do, and they understand, and they know our goals, and we fell short a year ago, and, you know, they want to come back and prove it that we can do it.
Does that kind of validate the culture here? Because you can go somewhere else and make more money. These guys obviously must have felt like it was a good situation for them to stay.
Yeah, it was. And again, that's not just what we do with football, but what we do with our athletic department, you know, with Gerald and his staff. And, you know, we always talk about the experience of the athlete here at Marshall. What can we offer that's different? And I think that our culture throughout the whole athletics, the school, the community, the fan base, I think that all plays a part in it. And I think the kids are excited to be here, want to be here, and they understand what we're trying to build, and they want to see it through. And, you know, I think a lot of times that's not that's not what's happening around the country. And these kids are, you know, they're all in with Marshall, and you know, so I think it's going to be a great year for us. And again, I'm excited to get those guys back, and they end their career the right way.
There are added benefits of the one portal window and just how things changed. You mentioned kind of being able to save a couple spots to look back on later and everything.
Yeah, that's the biggest change. Obviously, with our rule this year, we had just the one portal window. You know, now you don't have to worry as much. You know, you build your team in the spring. Now it almost goes back like it used to be in the old days of college football. As you build your team right now, you get your depth, you know exactly what you're going to have, and then you could go out, hey, if we need to go get another offensive lineman, a wide receiver, running back, whatever it may be, then we could really focus in and hone in on that one spot. And then defensively, whether it's going to be a D lineman or a DB, you know, and what I want is the best available guy. It doesn't have to be a certain position. I want the best football player that we can get. And so we'll see where we're at, see what we have to do. And there's junior colleges, guys, some laid out guys that won't graduate until May. There's some high school guys that are going to go unsigned today. And then you have portal guys that are still out there. There's, I think, still 5,000 kids in the portal. So, you know, there's a lot of choices that we're just going to get the best guy and not rush into it.
Also, just, you know, compared to last year, the vast roster turnover compared to this year, you're retaining a lot of guys. We kept talking about how there's not a lot of guys that were able to tell these players how Marshall works, but now there's a lot that not only know the Marshall way, but the Coach Gibson way.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the staff. You know, our strength staff has stayed intact. Our offensive side of the ball, they've all stayed. You know, defensively, we made some changes, but we also, those are guys that we hired. Brad Lambert, this is his third tour at Marshall. So, and then you have Chip West that was here with Brad in 2020, and then you got Dean Hood that he was my college defense coordinator, so he knows me really well. But you know, our age though went way up on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we went from a young staff to a bunch of old guys now. So, but no, those guys do a great job, and they understand. They've been around the game, and it's a lot easier. Again, going through this year with everything that we do. You know, we know where things are at now. You know, last year we'd be in the building in January and somebody, where's the bathroom? I don't know, down the hallway somewhere. But it's everything was so new that it was just hard to, you know, show them everything that we have to offer. So it's so much easier this year to be able to do that.
All right. Anything further for Coach? All right, thank you all. Just a reminder that spring practice will open up March 2nd.
3rd.
3rd?
Yep, it's on a Tuesday, the 3rd.
Okay.
In 2026 too, Grant.
All right, thank you all for being here.
Thank you, guys.